Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And as those of us who've worked in and around Washington, D.C. for a long time know, the nation's capital has been plagued by out-of-control violent crime for a long time now. Fortunately, President Trump has not only acknowledged this problem, but he's actually done something about it. And I have to give some credit to Mayor Bowser, who finally welcomed the federal enforcement or support for law enforcement here in Washington, D.C. But the president has, as he has along the border, helped make not only America safe again, but he's helped make D.C. safe again. And this is not just for the benefit of people who happen to work here or residents who live here. This is for the benefit of the thousands, maybe even millions of tourists and others who come to Washington, D.C. to see the nation's capital and to learn more about our nation's history and how our government works. So we can see here on the chart next to me what some of the impact has been comparing 2024 to 2025, and just the difference between here's 24 and here's 25, just for basically 3 weeks. Motor vehicle theft has dropped precipitously. Robbery, you can see, here was 24. Here's the 3 weeks after President Trump announced the National Guard would begin law enforcement efforts. Burglary, down from 77 to 40, and combined violent crime has dropped precipitously. And one particular problem that I know has concerned my wife, among other people, has been the epidemic of carjackings, primarily by juveniles who, under the practice here in D.C., are basically not prosecuted as adults, even though they may be 17, 18, 19, even 23 years old. And that's got to change, and it will change. But I'm grateful to President Trump, as well as the new U.S. Attorney, Jeanine Pirro, for their efforts to help make the District of Columbia safe again. It's long overdue. And I also applaud President Trump for his efforts to expand the federal support for local law enforcement beyond the nation's capital. And we look forward to seeing that, whether it's the actual enforcement efforts or whether it's the deterrence that comes from knowing that if you do commit the crime, you're going to do the time, which is an important part of law enforcement practice. So we've got a distinguished guest with us today, Angela Giratelli, who is going to tell us a little bit about her story. Angela?